Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or looked right at someone you've known for years and struggled to recall their name? If that sounds familiar, please know, you're not alone. After 70, many people begin to notice their memory slipping in small but frustrating ways. You might forget where you placed your keys, miss an appointment, or need to reread a paragraph because it just doesn't stick. These moments can feel frightening, even embarrassing. But what if I told you that your memory isn't permanently broken? What if you could literally force your brain to remember again, no matter your age? Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Rose. As a brain health specialist who has spent years helping older adults regain clarity and focus, I can assure you, your memory is far more powerful than you've been led to believe. The secret lies not in expensive supplements or complicated routines, but in understanding how to wake up the parts of your brain that control memory. Once you learn how to train them properly, you'll start remembering names, appointments, and even those little everyday details with ease again. In this video, I'll show you the exact science-backed techniques I teach my patients. Simple steps that can reawaken your memory's natural strength, even after 70. So if you've ever felt your mind slowing down or your confidence fading, stay with me. What you'll learn today can change how you think, recall, and live, starting tonight. Before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, so you never miss a simple, science-backed health tip, designed especially for older adults like you. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback is invaluable and helps me improve these videos for your benefit. Now, let's begin. Tip number 1. Create memory anchors with daily associations. Here's what I tell my patients. Your memory works much like a network of roads, and sometimes, after 70, some of these roads get a little worn or overgrown. The good news is that we can rebuild and strengthen these pathways with something I call memory anchors. These are simple associations or cues that help your brain pin information in place so you can recall it effortlessly later. Let me give you an example. Imagine you meet someone new at a family gathering. Instead of just trying to repeat their name in your head, you attach it to something memorable, a visual, a story, or even a rhyme. If her name is Rose, picture a bouquet of roses in your mind whenever you see her. The brain loves patterns and connections, so linking new information to something familiar is like giving your memory a clear highway to travel. I often tell my patients, don't just try to memorize, connect. You can take this a step further with everyday objects. Keys, glasses, or your phone can be paired with consistent locations or rituals. For instance, always place your keys in the same decorative bowl near the door. Each time you reach for them, your brain reinforces that association. Over time, it becomes automatic. What's fascinating is that even small, consistent actions like this strengthen the neural pathways responsible for memory, almost like doing gentle workouts for your brain. Another powerful method I recommend is using storytelling. When you need to remember a sequence, like your doctor's instructions or a list of errands, turn it into a little narrative in your mind. Your brain loves stories. It's wired to recall events with context. So instead of trying to recall, "Take pill at 8, buy milk, call Anna," you imagine a scene where you greet Anna with a glass of milk in one hand and your pill in the other. Suddenly, what seemed forgettable becomes vivid and retrievable. Consistency is key. Practicing these memory anchors daily, morning routines, bedtime rituals, or even short walks, trains your brain to actively encode information rather than passively store it. And here's an often overlooked truth. Repetition doesn't mean boring drills. Make it playful. Turn it into a game, challenge yourself, laugh when you misstep. Your emotions actually help cement memory, so enjoying the process strengthens the result. Finally, remember that memory anchors are personal. What works for one person may not work for another. I encourage patients to experiment. Pair words with smells, textures, songs, or colors that are meaningful to you. The stronger the personal connection, the more effective the anchor. By practicing this habit every day, you'll notice your ability to recall names, dates, and even long-forgotten stories improving steadily. Creating memory anchors is one of the most reliable and natural ways to force your brain to remember. It's simple, accessible, and doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated devices. You're essentially teaching your brain to create shortcuts, to recognize patterns, and to retrieve information quickly. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your memory begins to work with you again rather than against you. Tip number 2. Exercise your brain with active recall and mental challenges. One of the most powerful tools I teach my patients is something called active recall. This is the practice of deliberately retrieving information from your memory, instead of just passively reviewing it. Think of it like flexing a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. After 70, our brains can start to slow down, but with consistent mental workouts, you can literally force your memory to perform at a higher level. Here's how it works. Suppose you want to remember a friend's phone number. Instead of just reading it once or writing it down, you look away and try to recall it from memory. Repeat this process several times, and your brain builds a stronger neural pathway for that information. The beauty of active recall is that it not only strengthens memory but also improves focus and attention, two areas that tend to decline with age. I often suggest simple daily exercises that make active recall enjoyable. For instance, when reading a book or article, pause every few paragraphs and summarize what you just read in your own words. Or after watching a TV show, try to recount the plot and characters without looking at a summary. You'll be amazed at how quickly this practice improves both your short-term and long-term memory. Crossword puzzles, Sudoku, and strategy games are also excellent for memory because they challenge multiple areas of the brain simultaneously. But here's an important insight. It's not about completing them perfectly. The benefit comes from engaging with the challenge, making connections, and forcing your brain to think critically. I tell my patients, it's the effort that counts, not perfection. Even if you make mistakes, your brain is learning, strengthening, and creating new pathways. Another fun technique I recommend is teaching someone else what you've learned. Whether it's a story, a recipe, or a new skill, explaining it forces your brain to retrieve and organize information. This is far more effective than passive review and can even become a social activity, keeping your mind active and your heart engaged. Consistency is crucial. Just as you wouldn't expect your muscles to get stronger from a single workout, your memory improves gradually with regular mental exercises. I encourage patients to set aside even 15 to 20 minutes a day for active recall practices, perhaps during a morning coffee, after a walk, or in the evening before bed. Small, daily exercises accumulate into remarkable long-term gains. Finally, remember that mental challenges don't have to be tedious. Turn memory exercises into a game or friendly competition. Memorize a short poem, recall the grocery list without looking, or play memory card games with family. Each time you push your brain slightly beyond its comfort zone, you're literally building new memory circuits and keeping your mind sharp. Active recall and mental challenges are not just techniques, they are a lifestyle for memory longevity. By committing to this daily habit, you'll notice a greater ability to remember names, appointments, conversations, and even cherished memories from decades ago. Your memory doesn't have to fade with age. With consistent effort, it can remain vibrant and reliable well into your 80s and beyond. Tip number 3. Optimize your sleep to supercharge memory. If there's one habit that dramatically affects memory after 70, it's sleep. Many people think of sleep as simply rest, but in reality, it is the time when your brain files away everything you've learned and experienced that day. Without adequate, high-quality sleep, even the strongest memory techniques lose their power. That's why I always tell my patients, sleep is not optional, it's a vital memory tool. Here's what happens when you sleep. During deep sleep stages, your brain consolidates memories, transferring short-term experiences into long-term storage. This process is crucial for recall. If your sleep is interrupted, or if you don't get enough, the brain struggles to solidify information, leaving you forgetful and mentally foggy. I often hear, "Doctor, I slept 6 hours, why am I so forgetful?" And the truth is, it's not just about the number of hours, it's about the quality of sleep. Deep, Uninterrupted rest is when the memory magic happens. To optimize sleep, I encourage a few simple but powerful habits. First, establish a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which in turn improves memory consolidation. Next, create a relaxing pre-sleep routine. Reading a book, listening to calming music, or gentle stretches can signal your brain that it's time to rest. Avoid screens and bright lights at least an hour before bed, because blue light can interfere with the release of melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep. Nutrition also plays a role. Foods rich in magnesium, tryptophan, and certain B vitamins support better sleep. A small snack like yogurt with a few nuts or a banana can make a difference. I also remind patients to avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol close to bedtime, as these disrupt both sleep quality and memory consolidation. Another tip is to pay attention to your sleep environment. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. A comfortable mattress and supportive pillow are not luxuries. They are investments in your memory. And if you wake up during the night, avoid immediately reaching for your phone or stressing about the time. Instead, focus on slow, deep breathing to help your brain return to rest. Finally, understand that sleep is a skill you can improve. Track your habits, experiment with routines, and notice how your memory responds. Many of my patients report that after adjusting their sleep patterns, they not only recall names and appointments more easily, but they also feel mentally sharper and more confident throughout the day. Optimizing sleep is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to force your memory to remember. It works hand in hand with memory anchors, active recall, and mental challenges. Think of sleep as the brain's filing system. Without it, everything piles up chaotically. With it, your memories are organized, accessible, and reliable. By prioritizing sleep, you're giving your brain the environment it needs to store and retrieve information efficiently. Even after 70, you can reclaim sharp, dependable memory simply by making rest a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Tip number 4. Fuel your brain with memory-boosting nutrition. What you eat profoundly affects your memory, especially after 70. I always tell my patients, your brain is like a high-performance engine, and the fuel you provide determines how well it runs. Poor nutrition slows it down, while the right foods can literally force your memory to perform at its best. First, focus on healthy fats. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, are essential for maintaining brain cell membranes and supporting communication between neurons. I encourage my patients to include these at least twice a week. If you don't eat fish, consider walnuts, chia seeds, or flax seeds. These foods are not just brain-friendly, they also support heart health, which is critical because strong circulation nourishes your brain efficiently. Next, prioritize colorful fruits and vegetables. Blueberries, spinach, kale, and broccoli are rich in antioxidants and compounds like flavonoids that combat inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. One of my favorite tips is to think of your plate as a rainbow. Each color provides unique nutrients that protect and enhance memory. I tell my patients, your brain will literally thank you for eating the rainbow. Don't forget protein. Lean meats, eggs, and legumes provide amino acids needed for neurotransmitter production, which are the chemical messengers that help your brain send and receive information. Even small deficiencies can slow cognitive function, so make sure protein is part of every meal. Hydration is another often overlooked factor. Your brain is nearly 75% water, and even mild dehydration can impair attention and memory. I advise patients to sip water consistently throughout the day and include hydrating foods like cucumbers, watermelon, and oranges. Avoid excessive caffeine or sugary drinks, which can disrupt hydration and energy levels. I also recommend spices and herbs with brain benefits. Turmeric contains curcumin, which supports memory and may reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Rosemary, sage, and cinnamon have been shown in studies to improve recall and attention. Adding these to meals is a simple, natural way to support brain health. Another tip I often give: limit processed foods, refined sugars, and excessive saturated fats. These can promote inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate memory decline. Instead, focus on whole, minimally processed foods that nourish your neurons. Finally, combine nutrition with mindful eating. Slow down, savor your meals, and pay attention to what you're eating. This enhances digestion and absorption of nutrients, and it's another way to engage your brain. The act of choosing and enjoying healthy foods reinforces habits that support memory and overall cognitive function. By consistently fueling your body with brain-boosting nutrition, you create an environment where your memory can thrive. Even after 70, your brain is remarkably adaptable. It responds to the care and nourishment you provide. Combine this with memory anchors, active recall, and quality sleep, and you'll notice a sharper, more reliable memory in your daily life. Tip number 5. Reduce stress and cultivate mindfulness for clear memory. Stress is one of the most underestimated enemies of memory, especially after 70. I often hear patients say, "Doctor, I just can't remember things like I used to." And when we explore their daily life, chronic stress is almost always a factor. High stress triggers cortisol release, a hormone that, in excess, can damage brain cells in areas responsible for memory, like the hippocampus. The good news is that by managing stress and practicing mindfulness, you can literally protect, and even enhance, your memory. One of my favorite techniques is simple daily mindfulness practice. This can be as short as 5 to 10 minutes of focused breathing, where you pay attention to your inhale and exhale. The goal is not to empty your mind completely, that's unrealistic, but to notice thoughts without judgment and gently bring your focus back to your breath. This trains your brain to concentrate and improves memory retention over time. I tell my patients, think of mindfulness as mental stretching. It keeps your mind flexible, strong, and resilient. Physical activity also plays a critical role in stress reduction and memory support. Even light exercise, like walking, gentle yoga, or Tai Chi, lowers cortisol levels, increases blood flow to the brain, and stimulates the production of neurotrophic factors, proteins that help neurons survive and form new connections. I encourage patients to choose activities they enjoy. The combination of movement, fresh air, and joy is incredibly effective for both mood and memory. Another tool I teach is journaling. Writing down thoughts, experiences, and worries helps offload mental clutter, allowing your brain to focus on storing important information rather than holding on to stress. You can also write lists of things you want to remember. Combining memory anchors with reflective journaling doubles the benefit. Over time, you'll notice clearer thinking and easier recall. Social connection is another powerful stress buffer. Spending time with friends, family, or community groups reduces anxiety, promotes a sense of belonging, and strengthens cognitive health. Even brief, meaningful interactions activate your brain and reinforce memory circuits. I remind my patients, your memory isn't just about neurons, it's about experiences, relationships, and engagement with life. Finally, consider integrating relaxation practices like meditation, guided imagery, or gentle music listening into your day. These methods reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and enhance focus. By creating a calm mental environment, your brain can encode and retrieve memories more efficiently. Reducing stress and cultivating mindfulness is not a luxury. It's a cornerstone of memory health. Even after 70, your brain is adaptable and responsive. By practicing mindfulness, staying physically active, journaling, nurturing relationships, and embracing relaxation techniques, you're giving your memory the mental space it needs to flourish. This tip, combined with memory anchors, active recall, sleep, and nutrition, completes a holistic approach to remembering everything that matters in your life. You've just learned 5 powerful, science-backed ways to literally force your memory to remember, even after 70. Remember, this isn't about quick fixes or expensive supplements. It's about practical habits that strengthen your brain, protect your neurons, and help you recall the moments, names, and details that make life rich and meaningful. Start with creating memory anchors, turning ordinary experiences into vivid mental cues. Challenge yourself with active recall and mental exercises that keep your brain sharp. Prioritize high-quality sleep, because this is when your brain files away everything you've learned. Fuel your mind with nutrition that supports memory. And finally, reduce stress through mindfulness, movement, and meaningful connections. Each of these steps works together, like a team, to bring clarity, confidence, and joy back to your daily life. I want you to know this. Your memory is not lost, it's just waiting for you to give it the right support. Even if you've felt forgetful for years, you can rebuild and strengthen it, one habit, one day at a time. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and stay consistent. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and watch our related videos to continue empowering your brain and your life. Your memory can be vibrant, reliable, and full of life well into your 80s and beyond. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Linda Rose, and I believe in your ability to reclaim your memory, nurture your mind, and embrace every day with clarity and confidence. Remember, it's never too late to strengthen your brain, and every small step you take counts.